This $10 NFL parlay for week 5 could win you $1,000. Yeah, it's Austin, joined by Logan from Calling Our Shot. We've done just that. We've each cooked up a parlay that would turn $10 into over $1,000. Mine turns it into $1,200. I'm giving you some extra money. Look, we've done this every single week, and we'll recap how we did last week in a second. We've gotten so close. If one of these days it's going to hit, and you don't want to be sitting on the sidelines when you see us all celebrating. So lock these parlays in with us. But before we dive into that, we are both on DraftKings, and DraftKings, we obviously love them here, and they have the best odds for these parlays. So you can also get $200 in bonus bets if you sign up for DraftKings using our promo down, our link down below, top of the description. You also get a free no sweat same game parlay every day of the NFL season. So take advantage of that. All details down below. You sign up, make a $5 money line bet, and you get $200 in site credits when win or lose. So take advantage of that. But I'm going to dive into my parlay, Logan, first, then you'll talk about yours. Last week, man, we had a sign of life. We were in that third quarter of the Dolphins game. We thought we had a chance. I'm going to talk about it. I'll throw it up on the screen. I cashed 3 of 5 legs. Let's dive in. Stafford, 300 plus yards, plus 250. Cash it. You looked at Alexander Madison, 75 plus rush yards. Almost had that at halftime, plus 225. Cash that one. Jalen Waddle was the reason we were in the Dolphins game I'm talking about. We needed 75 plus. Not get it done. He had 46 yards. The Dolphins got smoked by the Bills. Derrick Henry's over in rush attempts, sweat-free. He got that. And then Quentin Johnston is over in receiving yards. He had 18. We needed 30. We were knocking on the door. Our 2 big legs were sweat-free. They cashed. We're hitting one of these. Like I said, we're hitting one of these. So if you are new, hit that subscribe. We also have other videos for the NFL that you can already go check out for more player props and stuff like that. Let's dive into my parlay for week 5. I got 6 legs. The first 2 are the same player, Devon Achane of the Miami Dolphins. First 2 legs, 60 plus rushing yards and a touchdown. This is plus 298 on its own. Look, I mean, this guy passes all the tests. This guy's been an absolute stud for the Dolphins. Someone that came out of nowhere just a few weeks ago when the Dolphins dropped 70 points on the Broncos. And look, if you're the Dolphins head coach, Mike McDaniel, you're just going to look at this and be like, hey, how do I not give the guy the ball? He's averaging over 10 yards per carry, at 100 plus rushing yards in back-to-back weeks, 2 plus touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to keep rolling with him. I think he can continue this against the great matchup against the Giants. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Achane, we're counting on you. 60 plus rushing yards and a touchdown. You can go even crazier, or maybe you can take it only for 50. I really like his rushing yard prop. I think it's a good one. All right, with Devon Achane. Now let's go to the third leg. It's going to be Bijan Robinson, 100 plus rushing yards, plus 195. Now, if you watched our player props video, which if you haven't, definitely go check it out. I did 4 props that I absolutely love. Go check that video out. It was posted right before this one. I'm on Bijan Robinson's over in rushing yards in regular. I think his line's about 78, 79 and a half. I'm on that. Why not go a little bit higher for 100 plus? I'm going to be in attendance in Atlanta for this game, and Bijan's taking us home in this one, and I think he's going to have a big, big day. I talk about his rushing yards prop in that video a little bit more, but Bijan, 100 plus in 2 of 4 games this year. He's coming off 105 last week on only 14 carries. The game they lost by 16. I sneakily think that the Falcons could win this game, and they are favored in this game against the Texans, where everyone's going to be back in the Texans. I think a guy averaging 6 yards per carry, he's an absolute beast in a great matchup against Houston. Bijan, there's worse bets you can take than taking him for 100 plus rushing yards. Just count on that. If you have never watched him play, enjoy the treat. Fourth leg, we're going Jordan Addison, 60 plus receiving yards, plus 180. Now, if you want to bring him down to 50 plus, you can do that. But I really like Addison in this home spot, coming off a game where he had 0 receiving yards. But I think the Chiefs, they have a good defense, and they're going to stop Justin Jefferson. Well, stop in quotation marks. I think they're going to at least try their best to stop him. You can't stop him. He's obviously super, super good. But I think they're going to try to double team him, and that's going to lead Jordan Addison and KJ Osborne with one-on-one matchups, and I'm going to trust the rookie to go out there and do his thing. He's super good. Obviously, 0 yards last week. Kirk Cousins completed 12 passes. Whatever. This year, you've seen him have 61, 72, 52, and 0 yards. I'm throwing that 0 out of here. Kirk Cousins passing yards line set at 300. 60 of them are going to Jordan Addison. Look, I just realized that I've started this off with 3 rookies. Well, the fourth guy is not a rookie. He's been around for a while. You might know his name. DeAndre Hopkins, 60-plus receiving yards. We're sticking on the 60 train. You look at the Titans team, they're going to have a struggle to run the ball against the Colts defensive line. Colts, one of the better defenses stopping the run. They're going to have to throw the ball, and this is a Colts team, allowing the second most wide receiving yards to wide receivers. Well, Hopkins, he's basically the only wide receiver that the Titans have. We've seen Hopkins this year hit 60-plus in 2 games. He's at 65, 40, 48, and 63 yards. So getting real close, had the 40 yards in all 4 of those games. So pretty good floor. I think he gets at least above 60. He has a great track record against the Colts, obviously being in that division for the longest time. DeAndre Hopkins, 60-plus receiving yards. In my 6th and final leg, I know people are going to love this one. An interception prop. Zach Wilson, over 0.5 interceptions. Him to throw a pick, minus 130. Terrible value. That's because it's probably cashing in the first quarter. That's how that works. Zach Wilson throwing an interception in 2 of 4 games this year. Or actually not 2 of 4. He's thrown an interception. He's actually gone 2 straight starts without throwing a pick. But prior to that, thrown 4 straight with the pick, which I think does equate to 2 of 4 games. Look, I know Zach Wilson, a stinker is on the way. Just be prepared for it if you're back in the Jets. I'm just saying, Zach Wilson, he's throwing a pick, and he's wrapping up this 6-leg parlay, all on the screen. $10 into $1,200. Boom. Tail it. I think this one's back, and one of the most confident ones I've had so far this season. We're getting closer and closer. This could be the week that I absolutely crush one. I just made you guys $1,200. Logan's going to try to make you a little over 1,000. Logan, what's your parlay this week looking like?
Yeah, I do really like yours. Hopefully we could both cash in 1 week. That would be absolutely electric. As far as last week, I don't think I put my best foot forward. Definitely weren't some matchups I liked. I like this week's matchups a lot more, but we'll talk about it real quick. As you can see on the screen, Gerald Everett receptions, bad wager. He just didn't get the volume. Calvin Austin, what are we doing betting on Steelers? No more of that. Jamar Chase, that Bengals offense is broken. Joe Burrow's playing hurt. Bad looks there. Luckily, Puka Nacua did get over his receptions because he's just a target monster. And Kenneth Gainwell did not find the end zone. So last week, not our best week, but I do really like the picks we have this week. Let's start off with a first and second leg, kind of like what Austin did with a same game parlay. We're going to start with the first and second leg being Jalen Waddle of the Dolphins, 50-plus yards and anytime touchdown, plus 152 odds on this combination. Now, Waddle does get a cakewalk of a matchup against the Giants secondary. I mean, this could honestly be a first half line or first drive line. How cool would that be, if Jalen Waddle just caught a 50-yard receiving touchdown? It's possible. We know the type of role he fills, and Waddle has 50-plus receiving yards in 2 out of 3 games played this year. He's yet to find the end zone on the year, but what does that mean? I just think it's meaning he's due. As 12-point favorites, the Giants' defense will be getting scored upon, at will. Miami finds themselves as big favorites in this one. I think favorites for a reason. I think the Dolphins' offense is too much, and I think Jalen Waddle is definitely a big contributor in that one. Now let's go to the next leg. It's going to be another receiver. It's going to be Calvin Ridley of the Jaguars, 70-plus receiving yards, plus 170 odds on this leg individually. After 101 yards receiving the first week of the season, Ridley has cooled off, which, say what you want to say, a few different factors have sort of contributed to that. But Ridley is under 50 yards in 3 straight games, but I think this is a great buy low spot for him. Honestly, if you look at this matchup on paper, great, game script for a receiver because the Jags will likely be trailing in this game behind, a big Bills offensive, explosion. So the Jags could be trailing, find themselves need to throw the ball to keep up. And that's when a guy like Ridley definitely comes into the equation. And the Bills secondary also, we know Tre'Davious White is, that's a big injury loss for them. I think it catches up to this one and this one. I wouldn't have been surprised if White would have shadow covered Ridley, but he's not going to get that matchup. So there should be plenty of air yards, for Ridley in this one. Now let's talk about the next leg. It's going to be a quarterback. I'm taking Matt Stafford of the Rams, 300-plus passing yards, plus 160 odds on this leg individually. Now, sneaky, Stafford's been really great, through the air. He's had 300-plus yards in 3 out of 4 games this season. He faces an Eagles defense that we know they're stout against the run, but I think they're vulnerable against the pass. We've kind of seen that. Sam Howell last week had 290 yards on them through the air last week. And that's not Sam Howell's definitely not a savvy veteran quarterback like Matthew Stafford. Now the Eagles defense has to travel to the West Coast and play against a great, scheming coach like Sean McVay. I think especially if Cooper Kupp is back, which, he's questionable. I don't know what happens with him, but we know how good the chemistry is with those two. And already Puka Nacua has been great for Matthew Stafford. This is a Rams team that definitely is going to be throwing the ball a lot in this one. So I do like Matthew Stafford to get to that 300-yard mark. It's not easy to do, but Matthew Stafford has been making it look pretty achievable this year. Now let's go to the 5th leg. Hayden Hurst of the Panthers, 40-plus receiving yards, plus 275 on this one individually. I really do like the value on this one. This is kind of what's helping us get to that, $1,000 payout. The Lions defense has allowed the most yards to tight ends this year. They've just been getting carved up, left and right. You look at some of the tight ends that have really exploited this Lions, defense. Noah Fant, Colby Parkinson, and Kyle Pitts have all had 40-plus receiving yards against the Lions. Kyle Pitts, yes, Kyle Pitts. If you play fantasy football, you'd laugh at the fact that he had a good game against them, or good game. 40 plus isn't even all that many yards. But unlike Ian Thomas and Tommy Tremble, they got Hayden Hurst out there to be running routes, not run block. Hurst should be getting looks in the passing game, especially with a lot of the attention on the perimeter being devoted to, the different receivers like Thielen. I think that's going to leave Hayden Hurst open for some checkdowns and definitely able to get some yards. The Panthers are going to be trailing in this game and forced to pass. They're not going to be able to really keep up with the Lions. And I think it sets up to be a great spot for a guy like Hayden Hurst. It's sort of a dart throw bet, but I do like that one. And let's go to our last leg to get us to over 1,000 payout. Taking Breece Hall of the Jets, over 12.5 rushing attempts, minus 125 odds on this one. The Broncos defense is terrible. I don't need to be the guy to say that, but everyone knows the narrative there. You can run on them, you can throw on them, whatever you want. Even though this Jets offense, it hasn't been the greatest. They've been pretty up and down with Zach Wilson. This sets up to be a great Breece Hall running game. The Jets are not going to let Zach Wilson just go hog wild and go, throw the ball 30, 40 times. It's not what they're going to try to do. Hall has yet to go over this line, in recent games. But the coach's comments, the coach speak, if you will, has sort of suggested that the workload's going to increase for Breece Hall, and this is going to be his backfield going forward. In a close game, the Jets are going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to play, ball control game. They want to keep it away from Russell Wilson and that team. That's kind of how you win in the NFL, especially on the road. You want to run the ball. I think Breece Hall is going to get a good workload in this one. I think 13 rushing attempts is definitely achievable. That closes it out, as you can see on the screen, the full parlay odds, plus 11,841. Man, Austin, feeling good about this one.
Yeah, I'm going to put our parlays right up over our faces, but that looks like an absolute surgical card. I mean, after Zach Wilson throws a pick on his first drive, they're going to have to run the ball with Breece Hall. We're going to knock down those two probably pretty quickly. So, look, those are favorite picks. Let us know your favorite long shot picks. The best part about these is that, we've been close on a couple of different occasions, giving out some good plus 250s, plus 225 winners. So, if you've just been betting them straight up, you're probably doing a pretty good job. But those are our favorite picks. That's our long shot parlay. We have some more picks, though, if you want to know our actual, game picks, who we like on the spreads to win certain games, as well as some other player props that aren't, plus 200. Go check out the 2 videos on the screen for the NFL. We love all the videos and all the props that we got going for Sunday's NFL slate. We love you guys. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you guys back again next week with some more Monday Night Football, more videos on the channel. We don't take any days off. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.